Welcome to GLOBALink, brought to you by Xinhua News Agency and Hang Online. On the eve of 2021, Chinese President Xi Jinping delivered a New Year speech. President Xi hailed China's achievements in the extraordinary year of 2020. He said, "Greatness is forged in the ordinary, and heroes come from the people. Every single person is remarkable." Today, some international guests will join us online to share with us their comments on President Xi's New Year speech and China's performance in the past year. Joining us first is Bernard de Wit from Belgium. Mr. de Wit is chairman of Belgian Chinese Chamber of Commerce. Welcome, Mr. de Wit. President Xi said China has written an epic in fighting COVID-19 as the country put people and life first and fought the epidemic with unity and perseverance. He also said people across the world should make joint efforts to drive away the dark clouds of the COVID-19 pandemic at an early date and build the planet Earth into a better home for all humanity. So what do you think of that?
We can only agree with what President Xi said. We are all humans, we are all confronted to the same problem. So therefore, indeed, international cooperation is very important. And the role of international bodies like the World Health Organization is really very important. I must say that Chinese policy in fighting COVID, also in providing assistance to countries, it's something that is badly needed, and we should open more our borders. And the words of President Xi are very important on that aspect.
Thank you for your insights, Mr. de Wit. Next, joining us is Kenyan international relations expert Kevin Adir. Mr. Adir, welcome. President Xi said in his New Year speech that China has secured a great historic achievement for fully building a moderately prosperous society in all respects and a decisive victory in poverty eradication. So what's your take on these achievements of China?
Well, thank you very much for the opportunity. I think it's important to appreciate the kind of milestones that China has made in terms of reducing and eventually eliminating extreme poverty from within its borders. China holds the world record in terms of its feat, lifting over 850 million people out of poverty. This is legendary in every sense of it, and in many quarters of the world, this kind of success is highly sought after and admired. Data that has come out of China do reveal some specific areas that other countries can learn from.
Thank you very much. Now we're having Xu Haoliang, UN Assistant Secretary General and UNDP Director of Bureau for Policy and Program Support. So, Mr. Xu, tell us what you think of China's concept of building a moderately prosperous society.
The concept of Xiaokang, is in alignment, with international development frameworks, which go beyond, income, and beyond simply poverty eradication, right? And internationally, we have moved from the Millennium Development Goals to Sustainable Development Goals. So I think what this concept of moderately prosperous, society has done is to show that the developing countries can make effective use of the local traditions, local cultures that are more easily understood and accepted by local population, and they use this kind of local traditional knowledge to achieve internationally recognized development goals. I think in this sense, China has provided a case study of how this can be done.
Thank you so much for joining us. For more, I'm joined now by Dr. Talat Shabir, Director of China-Pakistan Studies Center, Institute of Strategic Studies, Islamabad. Mr. Shabir, welcome. 2021 marks the 100th anniversary of the founding of the Communist Party of China. President Xi described the party as a gigantic vessel that leads China forward steadily with people's expectations and the hope of the nation. So how do you make of the CPC's role in China's development?
I think CPC over a period of time has been able to devise a system in China which is people friendly and is benefiting the whole public in China. And they have people's aspirations in mind. They have people's expectations in mind. So CPC in future is likely to perform or deliver as expected. And with the leadership of Xi Jinping, a visionary leader like him, I think, will be able to steer his nation further and forward. And I think CPC as a party would help achieve the goals.
Thanks for being with us. Next, we will have Ronnie Lings, Director of the China-Brazil Center for Research and Business. Mr. Lings, welcome. So what's your comment on Chinese President Xi Jinping's speech?
Okay. President Xi Jinping gave an important year-end speech, and which highlight important lessons that must be learned by humanity. First, people's lives should always be a priority. Second, the great effects that make the union of the all can face an immense challenge. Third, refers to China's important moment of being able to win the battle to eradicate poverty, to continue the journey toward reducing social inequalities.
Thank you, Mr. Lings. Now we are joined by economist and China expert Gonzalo Tordini from Argentina. So, Mr. Tordini, what do you have to share?
El 2021 que comienza, esperamos que nos pueda encontrar los distintos países del mundo trabajando mancomunadamente en ámbitos multilaterales y en pos de un bienestar y un destino compartido de la humanidad para que todas las personas del planeta puedan ser finalmente vacunadas, se pueda superar esta pandemia finalmente y que podamos volver a una senda de crecimiento conjunto, de beneficio mutuo para todos los países y que las relaciones entre China y los distintos países pueda generar beneficios y un trabajo por delante exitoso.
Thank you, Mr. Tordini. May 2021 bring more love, trust, and an early end to the pandemic. Stay with GLOBALink as we gather some important voices from around the world. And don't forget to share yours. Happy New Year. See you next time.